What's up, YouTube family? We are back with another crazy one, and today we are really going to be breaking down a very simple approach which I practically apply every single time I'm looking to like the trade, right? And this particular concept I've used over time, and it has been proven to be consistent. And at the same time, I've applied it to my Profit account, which got me funded in just 2 weeks maximum, right? Including the minimum trading days, only passing the profits with just one shot, right? So I'm really going to break this down, including the flips, which I've been able to do with this particular concept right here. You can see we did a 700 all the way to 4K, and every single trade right here was literally taking off this particular concept. So if you're new to this particular YouTube channel, don't forget to like and subscribe and click on the link in this particular video description to join our free Telegram community. So guys, so far we've been able to like call multiple shots of this, right? Every single trade taken was literally called of this particular concept, making it all an easy peasy and simplifying it all the way to the T. So we are really just going to bring this all the way to you, and then make sure you don't forget to like click on the like and subscribe button. So right here we did a 50 all the way to 500, and we also did other crazy flips, right? Where we can see so far for the week we did a 200 to 5K, um, and then we also did in 50 to 600 we did 100 to this, right? And this is just nothing but just a little tip of the iceberg. So without wasting much time, let's hop onto the chart and break this down real quick. So right here we can see BTC has been trending lower, right? And if you take a look, we've been able to like call this shot over and over again, and we smashed a whole lot of crazy flips, right? So the question is, how did we actually achieve this, right? So first of all, as I've always said, you always want to make sure you provide a context to what you're trading. And based off every single thing I've been saying, we trade literally off engulfing candles. And the very first step, which we actually want to do right now, is not trade off any random engulfing candle, but we actually want to make sure we trade off an engulfing candle that has an underlying narrative to it. And we also want to make sure that we have a predefined bias, right? Again, if you're new to this particular YouTube channel, don't forget to click on the link in this particular video description to join our free Telegram community, right? And so far, I'm really gonna break down the trade that made me over $11,000 right off a 700 USD, and the result was literally posted right here in the free Telegram community, right? So I'm really just gonna pop this up right now so you will be able to like see the entry and how we were able to like do this. As usual, it was done off BTC, and same trade code, same trade smashed, right? So right here we did a 2000 USD all the way to practically 31K, right? And we can see right here, we can see this was 2500 USD, and we were practically floating 16,000, right? And I did hold it more all the way to like price giving us the crazy dump, right, to the downside. And this was practically based off the same concept, right? So we actually had a 2005 to 22,000, right? And we also had a 2,500 to practically 27,000. And it kept jumping and dumping and dumping, right? So we had a 2,000 all the way to $31,000. And this was literally the entry we actually had right here. Right, so it's literally all an easy peasy. If I could do it, then definitely you can still do it, right? And this was literally on gold, and we kept smashing this over and over again, right? So as I did say, we are really just going to like move all the way to this. And one very good thing about the concept is that you can be able to like predict what price is going to do beforehand, as I literally did right here. And I've shown this over and over again to be very consistent, right? So the very first thing we actually want to do is provide a context to what we are literally looking out for in price. So we did a 500 all the way to $9,000 on gold, right? Scalping up this particular concept. So every single thing you can literally look out for is right in the free Telegram community, link in bio, or link in this video description, right? So back to the chart, we actually do have a situation where we see BTC jumping all the way to the upside, and we also see price moving all the way to the downside, right? So in the market, we always know for a very short fact, price is always going to be trending either to the upside or moving all the way to the downside, or we are literally going to get a situation where price is literally stuck in a range, right? And it's literally not in our own jurisdiction to try to catch every single movement. We actually want to make sure we only look out for setups that will be able to like expand faster if we hop into them, right? And this is literally going to bring me to the concept of understanding what the higher time frame is saying. So first of all, on BTC, before we were able to like see the crazy dump to the downside, we needed to understand why price would actually push all the way to the downside consistently and continuously, right? And this is literally a very easy one. So first of all, on the higher time frame, since I'm looking to be a day trader, I really don't do much on the higher time frame, right? But first of all, we can see price gave this gap right here. Price created this bullish engulfing candle. We created this gap right here, okay, and then price gave a continuation all the way to the upside. Now, if we are looking to buy for long, right, if you're looking to maintain a long-term bias, we actually want to see price take out retrace into this gap, set its opening price and expand, right? Well, this might be confusing if you're new to this, so we are really going to break this down. So the first step right here, we actually want to see price create a gap, right? Now, this is if you're looking to frame a long-term bias and then play off this short-term, right? Remember, as I did say, we don't literally want to trade off every single point. We actually just want to like trade in line with what the higher time frame is saying. We only want to trade with what the higher time frame is saying, right? So keeping it very short, the very first step in this entire concept is to look out for the presence of a gap in price. And when we talk about a gap, a lot of you might want to consider an imbalance or a fair value gap, right? But if that is literally going to make it easier for you, or if it's going to make you sleep at night, then you can go with it. Well, it's still all the same thing, right? We want to look out for the presence of an imbalance. So right here, we also have the presence of this big imbalance right here. Okay, and with this happening in price, we know for a very short fact, we are practically looking out for the presence of the next candle opening price being set inside the imbalance, right? So this is literally the imbalance right here, and we actually do see that price opened up right, and we did mitigate all the way to this particular point, with the opening price being set all the way at this particular area. So this is literally my area of concentration, right? So I'm literally going to switch all the way to the weekly, and with me moving all the way to the weekly, right? I'm looking at for two possible scenarios right here. So I'm looking out for the presence of any engulfing candle, right? So we can see this is price retracement all the way to this. If you scale all the way lower to the lower time frame, we are going to see what actually propelled this entire push to the downside, which we don't really care. So we actually want to see price dip into this and create an immediate bearish engulfing candle. So right here, we did see like this was more like a range. So we can say this is a push to the downside. A lot of sellers were chasing this, and we did get this particular we just get this particular range, right? And there was practically no engulfing candle, right? To the downside, an immediate engulfing candle until price rallied all the way back up into this, and we created a bearish engulfing candle. So this is literally going to be our area of interest. So you can see for a very short fact right now that we actually did see ourselves not trying to chase this entire bias, right? Even though we can literally play a quick scalp of this. And what do I mean by that? Now we can see that price actually did create a bullish engulfing candle. And what does an engulfing candle implies? The presence of either buyers or sellers, right? Again, if you're new to this particular YouTube channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. And also click on the link in this particular video description to join our free Telegram community, right? So we actually did have the presence of this bullish engulfing candle. If we move all the way to the daily, right, of this particular playout right here, we are going to see that the lower time frame did support a structure, or let's say did support a push to moving all the way to that particular level. But of course, right, one of the major reasons why we are really going to stay out from this particular buys, if per se, is because of the fact that this was where the mitigation happened right here. Okay, so taking this buys is literally risky because price can literally continue impossibly to the downside. But then again, this is literally off the weekly, so it's a long-term perspective, right? So in this particular scenario right here, you can see this is where we actually did have price tap into the weekly right here, or the monthly gap, right? And we can see that price actually did play a whole lot, right? And where did we actually see the impulse coming from? The impulse started all the way from when the weekly presented an engulfing candle. So in this particular scenario, you actually don't want to do nothing in this particular case, right? And we can see this is more like a range. even though price was trying to trend all the way to the upside. You can only try to trade this if you are literally looking for a day trading for short scalps, of which this particular strategy is a day trade. It's a day trading strategy, but I'm trying to like use the weekly to illustrate this, right? So now we actually do have a weekly bearish engulfing candle, and based off what we actually know about engulfing candles are known to be reversal patterns on the lower time frame, right? So if I take this right here and then I map this entire zone out, scale it all the way to the daily time frame, right? Which I'm sure this shit is not really going to pop up. All right, so like if we map this back to the daily, to the weekly, sorry. So I'm really gonna take this line back. Okay, I'm gonna place this horizontal rail back right here because for some weird reason my daily is not showing my levels. All right, so like this is practically where the weekly came in play. Right, this is where the weekly levels came in play. Right now, if you have been following me for a very long time, you would understand that I did explain the concept of engulfing candles and support and resistance level, right? So in this particular area, what can we say in price? We can say this is practically a key level, right? And if we map this out clearly, we are really going to see that this was a clean structural SNL level, right? Where we actually did have support and resistance coming into play. So we did see price give us a push to the upside and a retracement, a push right here, and then price comes back down, right? Gives a closure, and we have price retest this particular point first of all, and then it drops back down, and then price comes back still into the same level and plays a retest right before a dump all the way to the downside. So this right here is really going to serve as our key support and resistance level, right? So this is what we have at this particular area, right? So taking this out again. So we can see for a very short fact, this was practically a support and resistance level. Price actually did close below this. We did retrace, retest this the first time, and then price gives us a structural change, confirming a push to the downside, and then we came back up, right? And give a jump. Now, if you also want to look at this from the perspective of supply and demand, price gave a structural change, and we did make a higher high, a lower high, a lower low, and then price retraced back into this daily supply, right? Price did see a significant dump all the way to the downside. Now, you can literally imagine the impulse that came in all the way from this particular point and what we actually did have in store right here. You can see our price dumped massively off this particular point, right? So this is what's, and this is how I've been able to like do it and keep it real easy. Now you can decide to refine this folder all the way to the 4 hour time frame or all the way to the lower time frame, right? And that is if you actually want to. So with us refining further all the way to this, we have a weak area at this particular point. So obviously we literally have our entry of this particular area, and my stop loss is just going to be below above the high of the week, right? And since this is a weekly level, we could have decided to go all the way to the downside for as long as we want, right? So this is practically a 200 pip stop. If you're literally looking to be a swing trader, right, you can literally see the crazy reward. But then again, we decided to play this off an intraday perspective where we were able to like catch the sells, the sell, this particular sell, you can see off an engulfing candle still, and we had this sell, right? And we're currently off on this particular one, right? So as I did say, guys, if you're new to this particular YouTube channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. And this is all an easy peasy, right? Don't forget to like and subscribe and click on the link in this particular video description to be part of our free Telegram community where we post every single trade for free, right? And you should literally consider adding this to your arsenal as I did say, it has been proven to work over and over again across every single asset, right? So see you guys on the next slide. More trade breakdowns coming.